Good morning, church. Today we're going to be looking at John chapter 8, so open your Bibles or your devices. We're going to jump right in. The latter part of this chapter deals with Jesus in a contentious dialogue with the religious leaders who were accusing him of being a false Messiah and laying all kind of accusations against him. And Jesus answers every one of them, one after the other, and comes out looking really good at the end of the story. And this is important for John's readers, important for us, because we have the same questions about Jesus. And Jesus defends himself admirably in these dialogues. But I want to begin looking at really John chapter 8, the very beginning, the first story, and that's the story of the woman who was caught in adultery. If you'll notice, this story is set apart in your text because it does not appear in the most ancient manuscripts of John's gospel that we have. We don't see it in John's gospel from the ancient manuscripts till 3rd or 4th century. That does not mean that it's not a true story. It just means that it was not included in John's original text of the life of Jesus. But it does ring true about who Jesus is and the kind of person he is. And I think that's one reason it's one of the most famous stories of Jesus interacting with people. He begins with this woman caught in adultery, brought before him, forced to stand before him and the gathered crowd as the accusers say, "What should be done with this woman? The law says stone her. What do you say?" And they were hoping to really corner Jesus. Either he's going to be harsh with his punishment, or he's going to be soft on applying the law of Moses. And they think that they have him here. And Jesus begins to write in the dirt below him, and then he says this, "He who is without sin can cast the first stone." And then he bends down and continues writing. And it says those accusers that were gathered there began to disperse one after the other, the oldest down to the youngest, the wisest who knew they had already been beaten, down to the youngest who hadn't figured it out yet. And as they've gone, Jesus then turns to the woman and he says, "Where are your accusers? Is there no one here to condemn you?" And she says, "No one, sir." And he says, "Then neither do I condemn you. Go and leave your life of sin." You know, we approach wrong in our lives, the lives of others, in two main ways: with harsh condemnation. If someone's done me wrong, I want to exact punishment. I want it to be harsh. I want it to be quick, and I want it to be lasting. I sometimes write people out of my life because of the wrongs they've done me and give them no chance to redeem themselves or find their way back in. And the other way is to dismiss the wrongs that we've done. Just convince ourselves that what we did was justified, or it wasn't really wrong to begin with. And if we get enough people around us agreeing with that, then we can do the most horrendous things and walk away feeling pretty good about it. Sometimes we lay those two options, either punishment or just forgetting. But Jesus lays out a third option, and that is redemption. Redemption has to begin with the admission that what I've done is wrong. Jesus turns to the woman and he says, "Go and leave your life of sin." He knows what she had done. He knows what kind of woman she was. He's not dismissing that or ignoring it or forgetting it. In fact, he calls her to make different choices in her life moving forward. But he does say to her that you will not be defined by the worst decisions you've made in your past, because he says, "I do not condemn you." Redemption is forgiveness offered to people who have done wrong and do not deserve it, but are offered it anyway because of the grace and mercy of God. I'd love your comments on this story or the whole chapter. Go to our Facebook page and make some comments. I'd love to read them. You guys have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.